presidential candidate of Nigeria's main opposition political party, Atiku, appears highly determined to restore a semblance of unity as he launches out on the campaign trail ahead of the 2023 general election. Despite his earlier avowal to move on from trying to appease disgruntled governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, the former vice president has in the past week or two been seen apparently bending backwards to explore further possibilities of a rapprochement with the governor. Atiku has also appointed former PDP National Publicity Secretary Kola Ologbondiyan as one of his campaign spokesperson, and he now joins us. Thank you so much for joining us on Newsday. Good to have you with us on the program.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon to you, and good afternoon, Nigerians.
Well, let's start, of course, with what's been making the news in the last couple of weeks, or should I even say months. Give us an update on the state of things between Governor Nyesom Wike and his supporters and your national chairman, Iyorchia Ayu. We know there was a meeting between Governor Wike and some members of the PDP's Board of Trustees earlier this week. Can you tell us what the outcome of that meeting was?
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I think what is ongoing currently is the efforts within the party to put the issue of disagreement within the party behind us and concentrate on the campaign towards rescuing and rebuilding Nigeria ahead of 2023. And I think that's essentially is what is operational within the party. I am aware that the Board of Trustees, led by the acting chairman, Senator Adolphus Wabara, is going around the aggrieved members of the party to engage with them and find a way of achieving a lasting solution to all the issues. Having said that, I'm aware also that at various levels and at various stratums of the party, there are concerted efforts being put together to find a solution to the problem. This is ongoing, and it is not yet time to come out and say this is what we have attained or this is what we have achieved. I believe that in a couple of weeks we can put the whole thing behind us.
Certainly understandable. It's known that when a family is squabbling internally, it's best to keep outsiders out until solutions are found. As your recent appointment as National Publicity Secretary, I'm sure your work is cut out for you and you have a lot to do. We also know that you were formerly the National Publicity Secretary as well. Can you tell us what the PDP's plans are in order to shift undecided voters from one party to another, and also under what premise the PDP will be building their manifesto and purpose for? What can you tell us about that?
Okay, you know that from the beginning, since campaign was lifted on September 28th, and even prior to the lifting of the campaign on September 28th, that the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku the Waziri Adamawa, has been the only candidate that has been going around and at every fora bringing forth solutions, practicable and realistic solutions to the challenges of our nation. And as such, he has spoken to the issue of diversity in our nation. And if you look at the choice of his vice presidential candidate, it fits into the demands of our nation on the balancing of diversity. And we can say that, and we are proud of that. And as a matter of fact, we couldn't have done otherwise, because the People's Democratic Party is the most experienced political party in the annals of our political history. And our candidate, Atiku the Waziri Adamawa, is the most experienced among the array of candidates who are parading themselves, having been vice president, having functioned at the highest level of governance in our country. But having said that, it's imperative to further state that he spoke to the issue of diversity. He spoke to the issue of restructuring via devolution of power from the center to the state and possibly even to the subnational levels. He also spoke to the issue of insecurity And he said that with his experience while they were in office, given the minimum nature of his security during their tenure, he ensured that his boss facilitated quickly the recruitment of 10,000 policemen. He has said that there's a need to manage the current level of insecurity, that we must have state police. And it is possible to have municipal police. It is possible to even have community police. But he said we need to amend our rules. And he said from the first day in office, he's going to be in alliance with the Parliament, the National Assembly. He will look at every level of rule guiding our lives, and he will see how amendment can be proposed, particularly in the area of insecurity. He's also a retired custom officer who has had the responsibility of managing the territorial integrity of our nation. As you know, he rose through the ranks to come to the highest level of the custom service. So he has said that, look, the normal way of manning our borders can no longer function in this modern age, and given the challenges that we are facing in terms of insecurity. And he said we have to seek our ways through technology. And he has promised Nigerians that if he's elected, he will work towards ensuring that we deploy technology in manning our borders. Furthermore, Atiku Abubakar has looked at the economy, which the APC promised to come and improve upon in 2015, and which today is in shambles. He looked at the ordinary Nigerians who are in the informal sector of the economy. And he said that the bulk of our lives, the major part of our lives, are driven by those in the informal sector of the economy. He said he's going to launch $10 billion for stimulation of the economy, and he's going to drive this through the informal sector. So Atiku Abubakar, the Waziri Adamawa, remains only that candidate who is providing practical solutions to the challenges of our nation, who is addressing the people, who is talking to Nigerians. And that is why I'm not surprised that Nigerians are rallying with him. You talk about what his plans are concerning the youth. I want to give you a practical example about the life and the tenure of office of Atiku Abubakar. I'm sure you know Emeka Ihedioha, who was Deputy Speaker in the House of Rep, and who went to become the governor of Imo State before his mandate was hijacked by the All Progressives Congress. You recall that he worked with Atiku Abubakar as a youth. And Atiku Abubakar empowered him and encouraged him to go into politics. There are many of them like that. Deolu Akande, Madam Tokunbo Adeola, I can continue to name them. Atiku Abubakar symbolizes, is the only candidate in the array of those who say that they want to be president in Nigeria, who's got the experience, who's got the tenacity, who has the dream, who has the capacity to deliver. And as such, you won't be surprised that Nigerians are rallying with Atiku Abubakar.
Well, very well said, Mr. Ologbondiyan. As you said, the PDP is repositioning itself to rescue Nigeria from the damage that you believe this present administration has caused. But some Nigerians would argue that the country was not any better when PDP was in power 16 years ago. For 16 years, I mean. And that fact was actually acknowledged by your party. You'll recall that your then chairman, which is Secondus, apologized to the nation in 2018 for mistakes committed by the PDP in the past, and he promised to do better going forward. So I'd like to ask, what lessons would you say the PDP has learned, considering the internal crisis within the party where some people are still complaining of being marginalized? What lessons has the PDP learned that would actually help it to govern Nigeria better if given the chance in 2023?
Thank you very much. I want to say clearly that the People's Democratic Party, and I think I've said that in the course of this discussion, that the People's Democratic Party remains the only political party who understands the diverse nature of our country, Nigeria. The People's Democratic Party has strived within its capacity to ensure that it recognizes the 6 geopolitical zones, and in ensuring that in occupying offices, that the interests of every geopolitical zone is taken into consideration. You talk about marginalization. Even in the family, micro-family of a father, of a mother, and 3 children or 2 children, you still have complaint of, oh, the clothing that was bought for my brother was not bought for me. Oh, the type of phone that was bought for my brother was not bought for me. It's imperative to state that there's the only political party that can accommodate the various interests in Nigeria is the People's Democratic Party. Nigerians know this. It is funny when APC people talk and they still refer back to 16 years, they keep talking about 16 years administration of the People's Democratic Party. To me, it goes to no issue. And I say so clearly. Because you said Nigeria was not doing well. That Nigeria was being mismanaged by the People's Democratic Party. You came on a platform of promising three-pronged points that you claim you want to come and correct in Nigeria. You spoke to the issue of insecurity. You spoke to the issue of economy. You spoke to the issue of fighting corruption. In what part of these three-pronged promises are Nigerians better than the way they were in 2015? It's got so bad as we speak today that Nigerians are even clamoring that, please, APC, is it possible for us to take you back to 2015 or pre-2015 where life was better? Is it in the area of standard of living of our nation? Is it in the cost of our living as a nation? Or in what aspect? Is it insecurity that I cannot go home to my village in Kaba? Or is it insecurity that other Nigerians cannot travel between here to Kaduna? Or in which aspect are we going to talk about in this country that this APC party has not messed our nation up? It's unfortunate that we have a situation in which they even have the courage to come out and say they want to contest election. In Senate climes, in the advanced democracies where we learn this from, I am sure APC will not be able to muster the courage to say it is contesting election. Are we going to reinforce failure? Failure of clear 7 to 8 years, in which life has become extremely difficult, in which students are at home in the last 7 going to 8 months. A whole session has been lost, and the government cannot provide a solution. Is that what we want to reinforce in this country? And nobody should come and tell Nigerians that there's a different person. Nobody should come and tell Nigerians that, oh, they are bringing a new person. What was the role of that new person in the government that he deliberately formed? Oh, is it to continue to use Nigerians? Are we a set of morons in our country? The answer is no. And that is why, no matter how much they try, no matter what they do, Nigerians, including you and I, we know better. We know that the situation prevalent in our nation today is not worth it for APC to come back to power, to say it wants to govern Nigerians.
All right, thank you for that, sir. Speaking on not wanting to be taken for morons as Nigerians, can you clear up this issue for us? Even though you have spoken on it, but it's gray waters, and on last Thursday, we know that some National Working Committee members announced the refund of 122.4 million naira that was sent into their account for housing allowance. And as generous as that is, in order to make sure that their housing benefits are comfortable and to their standards, it seems 4 of those members saw fit to return the money. And they're not just low-ranking members either. This is the Deputy National Chairman of the South, the National Vice Chairman of South-South, and of course the National Women's Leader and the National Vice Chairman of the Southwest. Now, out of the individuals that received their housing allowance, those 4 sought to return it. We are questioning whether or not it was a bribe. Some of them have come out to say it was a bribe. I know you have come out to say that it was not. My question to you now is, if they return the money for their housing allowance, they would be without a housing allowance. So has the PDP sent that money back to them?
Well, I don't know whether I'm not in this National Working Committee. I need to make that very clear. And my position on the issue of whether the money was a bribe or it wasn't a bribe was predicated on the fact that when I was in office between 2017 and 2021, we were paid allowances. And I know that allowances are no bribes in the People's Democratic Party. And I believe that even where you work in Arise Television, and I know quite well that it's part of the emolument the staff receive there are allowances. It could be housing, it could be transportation. It operates in any environment where people work. So it was strange to me that earnings which were legitimately made could be termed as a bribe. But from reports that I have read and from discussions that I've had with people who are in office today, I am aware that after their most recent meeting, even those who claim to have collected bribe have discovered that they were not paid bribes. And I think that they are moving on. If they could still sit down, if somebody come around and say that, oh, my colleagues are bribe takers, but you're still comfortable sitting in meetings with them and coming to conclusions, that means that the issue of bribery is not in there. So I believe that the People's Democratic Party has learned so much lessons in the last 8 years, and it is conducting its affairs in the most transparent manner. Ours is not a party where one man will sit down and install the National Executive Council, or one man will sit down and decide who is going to be a member of the working committee, or one man will sit down and say that Emelokun, and as a result of that, he must be the presidential candidate. That is not the way the People's Democratic Party operates. That is not the way at all. We operate in a very transparent manner. We operate in a manner that party members can disagree with the leaders of the party, and they can challenge leadership of the party to come and speak to issues that are of interest to them. And we'll go to NEC. We have all our bodies. We have the Board of Trustees. We have the NEC. We have the Working Committee. We have various organs that are even supporting our party. We have the Governors Forum. We have Former Ministers Forum. People's Democratic Party is that political party who knows the nuances of the country, who understands our nation. And our candidate, Atiku Abubakar, is being in the arena. He understands the diversities. And is one person, one Nigerian, that you can see and find. And you will find out that those who surround him or who have surrounded him since whether he was in office or not are Nigerians of diverse culture and languages and interests. So for us in the PDP, we have brought out the candidate that we believe can fit into the bill and sort the problems for our country. And truly, when on May 29, Atiku Abubakar is sworn in as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Nigerians who will elect him will know that they have found a solution to the myriads of challenges that are confronting us today as a people.
Now, you talked about the PDP trying to recognize all the geopolitical zones, but I'm sure you know that there are some that are not happy that the presidential ticket for your party was thrown open. We've had some socio-cultural organizations talk about this and say that they will not support your party or any other party whose candidate is not from the Southeast. In fact, some people believe that the crisis within the PDP now is due to what they call manipulation of some individuals in getting the party to throw the ticket open. Now, how do you think this will affect you at the polls in 2023, and how would you appeal to the fears, of those that believe that indeed the PDP has marginalized the Southeast that has shown it so much love and support over the years?
Thank you very much. When under the leadership of Uche Secondus, a committee was constituted under Governor Bala Mohammed, the governor of Bauchi State, to go and look into the factors that led to the loss of our party in the 2019 election. The committee went further to look into the processes that will give victory to the People's Democratic Party in 2023. What was the outcome of that panel? The outcome of that panel is that if we are going by zoning, that either the Northeast or the Southeast should produce the presidential candidate. Well, if we will go by merit, the slot of presidential candidate should be left open so that Nigerians of diverse languages and diverse culture can come and vie, and whoever won will have emerged. Unfortunately, the report got to the NEC, but it was not debated. What happened? When the Senator Yoche Ayu leadership assumed office, it reconstituted another committee under the chairmanship of the governor of Benue State, Governor Samuel Otom, to go and look into the modality by which we will bring out a candidate. That committee went into work, and I must emphatically state the fact that that committee has its membership representational of each state of the Federation and FCT. So they were 37-member committee. This committee returned a report to NEC and said that in view of the fact that sales of forms had already started and people cutting across their respective geopolitical zones had bought forms, it will be difficult to now say people who have paid money to buy forms should go and withdraw from the race. And as such, it went further to say that the committee recommended an open contest. This report was brought to NEC, where everybody, every member, every stakeholder, every leader who is a member of NEC was expectedly present. And it was subjected to a debate, and a resolution was taken unanimously to allow an open contest. I'm a party member, I'm a party man. If I subscribe myself to that process, I will not come back and say that, oh, I have been marginalized. I will not do that. So we went into an election, which we call National Convention. And at the National Convention, a candidate has emerged. I am aware that there are disagreements, which is normal in every human environment, which anybody can talk about. I am aware that at the end of the day, that there are people who disagreed. But the party is in the process of ensuring that all these are put behind us. And I can assure you of one thing, that going into the election, every stakeholder, every leader of the party will work in the interest of the party and in the interest of generality of Nigerians who have gone under anguish, who have gone through anguish and pains in the last 7 going to 8 years under the misrule of the All Progressives Congress.
All right.
Leadership of our country.
Well, PDP chieftain and National Publicity Secretary, thank you so much for joining us. Call out Ologbondiyan. Thank you for joining us and having this discussion.